Yellowstone Supervolcano is fueled from below by heat coming from the Pacific Ocean, according to a new study. This is by University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign on Science Daily. Recent stories in national media magnifying fears of catastrophic eruption of the supervolcano of Yellowstone, but scientists remain uncertain about the likelihood of such an event. To better understand the region's subsurface geology, the geologists have rewound the playback the portion of its geologic history, finding that Yellowstone volcanism is far more complex and dynamic than previously thought. A new study reveals the heat needed to drive volcanism usually occurs in areas where tectonic plates meet and one slab of crust slides or subducts under another. However, Yellowstone and other volcanic areas of the inland western United States are far away from the active plate boundaries along the west coast. This is what geology professor Lijun Liu, who led the research, states. He says, in these inland cases, the deep-seated heat source known as a mantle plume is suspected of driving crustal melting and surface volcanism. In the new study reported in the journal Nature Geoscience, Liu and graduate students Quan Zhu and Jiashun Hu used a technique called seismic tomography, and they did this to peer into the subsurface of the western United States. They pieced together the geological history behind the volcanism, and using supercomputers, the team ran different tectonic scenarios to observe a range of possible geologic histories for the western United States over the past 20 million years. The effort yielded little support for the traditional mantle plume hypothesis. They said, our goal is to develop a model that matches up with what we see both below ground and on the surface today. This is what Zhu said. He says, we call it a hybrid geodynamic model because most of the earlier models either start with an initial condition and move forward, or start with the current conditions and move backwards. Our model does both, and it gives us more control over the relevant mantle processes. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. One of the many variables the team entered into their model was heat. Hot subsurface material like that in a mantle plume should rise vertically towards the surface, but that was not what the researchers saw in their models concerning Yellowstone. They said it appears that the mantle plume under the western United States is sinking deeper into Earth through time, which seems counterintuitive. Liu said this suggests that something closer to the surface, an oceanic slab originating from the western tectonic boundary, is interfering with the rise of the plume. The mantle plume hypothesis has been controversial for many years, and the new findings add to the evidence that for a revised tectonic scenario, the researcher said, a robust result from these models is that the heat source behind the extensive inland volcanism actually originated from the shallow oceanic mantle to the west of the Pacific Northwest coast. Liu said this directly challenges the traditional view that most of the heat came from the plume below Yellowstone. Eventually, we hope to consider the chemical data from the volcanic rocks in our model, Zhu said, and that will help us further constrain the source of the magma, because rocks from deep mantle plumes and near-surface tectonic plates could have different chemistries, he says. As for likelihood of a violent demise of Yellowstone supervolcano occurring anytime soon, the researchers say it's still too early to know. They said, of course, our model cannot predict specific future supereruptions. However, looking back through 20 million years of history, we do not see anything that makes the present-day Yellowstone region particularly special, at least not enough to make us suspect that it may do something different from the past when many catastrophic eruptions have occurred, Liu said. And more importantly, this work will give us a better understanding of some of the mysterious processes deep within the Earth, which will help us better understand the consequences of plate tectonics, including the mechanism of earthquakes and volcanoes. This is from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign on Science Daily. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.